Hello, Weston. This is Gary Syftestad, District Administrator of Weston School District. I am coming to you to talk to you about the upcoming referendum. As you may or may not know, the school board did decide to go to referendum April 6th. And this is based off of your feedback from the surveys that were sent out. I very much appreciate your participation in those surveys. The company School Perceptions has given us the results, and one of the positive things is they told us that the response by the community was very favorable as far as the amount of people that actually participate in the study. So I appreciate that very much. It is good to hear your voice and get feedback from all of you. So thank you very much. And I'm just going to run through some different things with the survey so that you're kind of aware of where things are headed and what the board has kind of decided with it. So first of all, I will tell you that the age dynamic of those that responded, 38% of those that responded were ages 35 through 54. 19% were 55 through 64 age dynamic, and then 31% were 65 and over. And in general, what we find in districts across the nation is that roughly 72 to 75% of those people that live in a community or within the district boundaries are people that are voters and do not have students in the school. So it's always reassuring to know that there are a lot of people out there that live in the community, don't necessarily have students at the school, but are willing to invest in the future of our bright young people. So thank you very much for that. That's a little breakdown on the age dynamic. Then I wanted to move on to the funding to support operations. So just before I get to the actual numbers there, I just want to kind of run through some of the things that have been done recently through funds, through previous referendums, but then also through fund balance that has been accumulated over the years. So there have been some updated classrooms. The science labs specifically are about 12 years old now. Those were done through dollars that did not impact through a referendum. Technology's been improved. The Silver Eagle Learning Lab was developed last year, and that's been a great thing to use for professional development, distance learning, and even our school board meetings. The weight room, fitness room was also updated last fall. We did replace many roof sections over the last 3-4 years. We have also redone the whole parking lot as well as the sidewalks. The building was tuck pointed last summer to ensure the foundational integrity for years to come. And then there were also some other things that were directly impacting students, such as 2 welding stations in the tech ed room, and then a printing press down in the art room. And then there was some other things like bikes that were purchased and some textbooks and other things like that. So there has been quite a bit of money spent in the last year that directly impacts the student in the classroom. And I only mention that because as we go forward talking about potential capital improvement projects here at Weston, you will see that based on the survey, some of the stuff is not necessarily directly impacting students, but more to the integrity and future of the building. So I want to thank you very much, the community support through the last decade with these referendums, and obviously with the fund balance helping a lot of those projects. But I do want to move on to what was concluded with the school board. The school board decided to put on the referendum for April 6th a $975,000 operational referendum. So this is to maintain existing personnel, existing programs, and in fact, invest in a literacy project through CESA 6 over the next 3 years. This operational referendum is the most important piece of the referendum moving forward. It would be for 4 years. And what we know from working with School Perceptions as well as Baird Financial is that this operational referendum would take the mill rate back up to roughly the same rate it was in 2020. As I'm sure many of you are aware, there was a clerical error that was discovered back in November of 2019. And the commitment at the time of the board was to run the 2021 school year off of fund balance and not go to referendum, so that you, the taxpayer, would see a significant tax decrease. So in 2020, the mill rate was 11.76. For 2021, the mill rate is 6.25, so almost half of what it was. If the operational referendum were to pass, again, $975,000 for 4 years, if that operational referendum question were to pass on April 6th, the mill rate would jump back up to about 11.72, which is still a little less than it was in 2020 and significantly less than it was in 2019 when the mill rate was 13.27. And what we found, or what School Perceptions found when doing the survey, the question was, would you support reinstating a $975,000 operational referendum in order to maintain current programs and services for each of the next 4 years? And the favorable results were that 61% said yes, they would definitely vote or probably would vote yes on that. So very favorable feedback on that through the survey. And again, we appreciate very much that people participated in that. And so what School Perceptions does is they kind of put this into a mathematical formula, which you will see off to the side here. And as you see at the bottom of this slide, it does say that assuming 1/3 of the undecided, because there was, I will tell you, there was 15% of those that responded were undecided, and School Perceptions, through their history of doing over 700 schools through their existence with these surveys, has determined that about 1/3 of those people undecided will probably vote yes. And so what they have told the board is that roughly 62% of the people that responded to the survey would in fact vote yes for the survey. So with that knowledge, the school board did vote at the January school board meeting to move forward with a $975,000 operational referendum for 4 years. And again, that will be April 6th. So let me turn to the second part of this equation, the facility projects, or what is known as the capital improvement part of it. So in addition to ensuring the district has needed funds to support daily operations, we are also coming to you to say that there are other parts of the district that need attention that haven't had attention for quite some time. If you've been in this district for 30 or more years, you know that there has not been a significant capital improvement referendum in this district since 1990. So we are a little over 30 years since there's been a capital improvement referendum. And if you think about it in the way of your house, you know that in a 20 to 30 year life of you living in that house, you know that things like re-roofing sometimes it's a new furnace, flooring, things like that. So we are definitely at and actually past that point on some different projects. And so what I want to show you is this return based off of the survey that shows what the top 4 projects from the survey questions came back as favorable from you, the people that filled out the survey. So number 1 priority from the survey was replace the high school roof. Second was replacing the elementary school boilers. And the nice thing there is if the capital improvement question were to pass, it would make the high school boilers that much more efficiency. There's actually 9 boilers down there, and my understanding is it would take it down to somewhere around 4 or 3 and make it much more efficient, and we would have cost savings as well. The other piece is to upgrade the high school gym floor, and the 4th ranked thing was to replace the flooring in the high school. And so if you're not aware, much of the high school flooring, almost all the high school flooring, is original flooring from when this building was built. And almost, well, actually all of it based on CISA 10's testing of the tile, it came back as all asbestos. And the tile themselves, if they're 9x9, the tiles themselves are asbestos. If they're 12x12 tiles, the tiles themselves are not asbestos, but the mastic that the tiles are stuck down on are asbestos. So those were the 4 things that the community said were top priority through the survey. With that knowledge, what came from the survey and the funding background from your questions that you answered is that the community would support up to $2 million. And if you remember the survey, we asked you different priorities on different capital improvement projects that totaled $3.35 million. What came out of your feedback is that there would be good support from you, the voters of the community, for a $2 million referendum. Now, those top 4 projects that were prioritized in the survey do not equal $2 million. In fact, I think they're right around $1.8 million. What would be the tax impact if the capital improvement project or referendum were passed? The tax impact would be about another 60 cents. So you would be looking at the mill rate going to about $12.40 instead of what we talked about earlier. The operational would take it up to 11.72 roughly. And then if a capital improvement project were passed, it would take it up to about $12.43. Okay. And again, here is school perceptions. You see on the slide, school perceptions, wheelhouse, they put it all together: non-parent residents, parent residents, staff residents, and then all residents. And you can see the dotted line intersecting through all 4 of those dynamics. And again, that's kind of the 50% threshold. And so when we look at that, you can see again that 3.35 million was listed, 2.5 million was listed, and 2 million was listed as well. And then the other questions would be, I would only support a referendum smaller than 2 million. I'm not sure, need more information. And the final one was, I would not support any referendum. So what school perceptions, again, with their mathematical equation put together, what they told the Weston School Board is that there would be support for a $2 million project. In fact, as they looked at it and again did their mathematical equation, they came back with just shy of 55% would support a capital improvement referendum. With that knowledge, the school board did quite a bit of discussion on this. And again, looking at the fact that the 4 prioritized potential capital improvement projects came back at about 1.8 million, the board decided not to go for 2 million, but decided to put the question in there at 1.9 million. So what I can tell you is April 6th rolls around, there will be 2 questions. One question will be an operational referendum question at $975,000 for 4 years. And that is the most vital, important question. In fact, if that question does not pass, then Weston would have to look at dissolving the district. And the question comes up sometimes, I like the 6.25 mill rate. I like the tax break that I get. Well, I just want you to know that if, in fact, Weston would have to dissolve because there would not be support to continue the district through this referendum, what would happen is your children or the children of Weston would be piecemeal to different districts such as Hillsborough, Waniwak Center, Reedsburg, River Valley, Richland Center, Ithaca. And then not only are you absorbing their mill rate, but you're also still absorbing what the mill rate is around here. So I just would hope that based on a lot of the projects that we've done, the investment we've made into the district here in the last year, 2 years with the roofing, the parking lot, the tuck pointing, and the sidewalks, that there would be a backing up of that support by supporting the $975,000 over 4 years. And again, if that is not what people decide, then we would have to look at dissolving the district over the next year and a half, 2 years. So the board decided $975,000 over 4 years. They also decided to put a second question on the referendum, a capital improvement question at 1.9 million, not 2 million, but 1.9 million. And the commitment of the board is that the top 4 priority projects would, if the capital improvement question is passed, the board would commit to doing those 4 projects, and then any leftover funds, if there would be looked at, such as maybe possibly the audio visual in the music and in the gym, things like that. But there's no guarantees beyond the top 4 projects. So again, the top 4 projects: the high school roof, the high school flooring, including the gym floor, and then also the elementary boilers. And again, as you think about it, those are projects that you would do in your house every 20 to 30 years. And that's kind of where we're at with things. So I would encourage you to be informed as you go to the polls on April 6th. We will have more information coming out. CISA 10 is coming to do a video as well where they'll interview myself, Loretta Pickle, the business manager, and then Victor Heineman, who is part of the custodial crew. And they're going to show you some pictures of different parts of the building, just to kind of, show you what we're looking at and what needs to be improved. So please, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me, Gary Syftestad, District Administrator, Weston School District. You can reach me by way of email at Syftestad, my last name, Syftestad, at weston.k12.wi.us. Or you may call me at 608-986-2151, extension 206. Please get out and vote on April 6th. Please be informed. We appreciate your support, and we look forward to working with you for many years to come. Have a great day. Eagle Pride.